So I've had people challenging me about things I've said about the VA's healthcare, how difficult it is to get care. So you don't get, if you're a veteran, you don't automatically get VA healthcare. It doesn't come unless you get to be 30% disabled. And the problem with that is you have to make a claim for that. And the VA looks for every reason under the sun to deny your claims. So right now, I'm helping several veterans with their claims. I've got one who she's about to get her 100%. She's at 90% disabled officially because they round up or down. She's actually at 92%, and we're just looking for either 3 10%ers or 1 30%er just to get her over 95, where they round up and she'll have 100. They denied her MST, which is military sexual trauma. I have MST in my record. It's clearly, defined. MST meets a lot of characteristics: sexual harassment, sexual assault, violence by a significant other. I'm trying to think what some of the others are. So there's a whole big thing, and they just categorize it as MST. And she's been denied for her MST. And the thing is, she's got a civilian doctor. She has a long history of documentation and talking about her problems, so that eventually this is gonna get accepted. The VA will eventually back down. They just drag everything out, and that's my point: is that they drag everything out. Now with another guy, he's at he's at about 50%. Just got it. With him, he has documented cases of, like, he watched a fellow serviceman commit suicide, and the VA has denied his PTSD claim. It's ridiculous. The reason why they denied him is because while he was in the service, they gave him a mental health diagnosis that it was a pre-existing condition. They said he had some type of personality disorder. Well, so they're denying it and saying, no, that's not service connected. Well, that's again wrong, because, well, let's argue and say he did have that condition, okay? Let's say that's an absolute condition that he had. He's got a doctor right now that says, no, he doesn't have a personality disorder. He's got PTSD. But let's say he did have that condition. That means the PTSD he incurred in the military affected that personality disorder that they're claiming that he has, because a doctor 15 years ago said he had that. Not off of a lot of treatment, just seeing him a couple times. He's now into treatment, but it's going to make that worse. And making it worse is service connected. So again, the VA is going to have to pay. But the VA fights and fights and fights on stuff that's like, I know you're going to have to pay this. You know you're going to have to pay this. That's why I say the best advice I've ever gotten was a veteran who told me, if you don't give up and you don't die, eventually the VA is going to give you what you've earned. And it costs so much money for the VA to fight. It costs so much money. And that's the problem. That's your taxpayer dollars. If you're not a veteran, they are taking up your money to fight these veterans, because they're going to have to pay these veterans eventually. So they're just burning up your money, trying to justify their existence. That's really what it comes down to. We have to deny this so that I have a job next week. And this is why I say that the VA is our adversary, not our advocate. And then I've had people coming after me about, because I've been pretty upfront. The Trump years in the VA, things improved. And in these last 4 years, things have regressed. And a lot of people, I get they're coming in from it from a political aspect. Here's what I'm going to say. Both parties play games with veterans. They play games with veterans' healthcare. It's not a Democrat or Republican issue. It's a politician versus taxpayer issue. They all play games. But Trump especially did a lot of things to make VA healthcare better, such as expanding community care. And I'll even give credit, Obama got community care on the books. It just was really hard to get. So when Trump came in, he said, yeah, this makes sense. We've got all these wait lists and everything. Just put everybody into community care. It's actually cheaper for the VA, because if you have community care, you're paying civilian doctors, and you don't have to, for all the VA doctors, that's less money, less VA doctors you have to hire, which means you don't have to pay their long-term retirement costs. So it's actually cheaper to do with civilian doctors. And I've got all these people who, they're coming at it from a political aspect, and they're like, no, Trump did this, or Republicans do this. I'll tell you, both parties absolutely screw over veterans, without a question. But, the Democrats are in charge right now, so they're the ones doing it. That's why you're seeing homeless veterans being kicked out in Democrat cities in favor of illegals. That's why I did the Veterans Before Illegals coffee mug. And it's not a questionable fact. It's an absolute fact. This is happening. It's happened in Boston. It's been happening in LA for a long freaking time. But it's now happening in Chicago. It's happening in Baltimore. So I'm coming at this with facts. And if anyone if you want to see direct cases, I will send them to you. I've had them on the show. But yeah, you civilians who watch my show, you need to start, we're going to be doing petitions and stuff. So we really need you to help us be engaged on this, because I understand that you don't know the issues. Trust us when we tell you, look, we're trying to improve our own healthcare. And if there's one thing that this country has a tradition of doing, it's screwing over its veterans. And I can show you examples of that. I mean, hell, we had General MacArthur. He cleared the veterans out in the 1930s that were on the National Mall, who all they wanted was what they were promised. So, that's what I'm asking. You're going to see more things from this channel. We're doing joint letters. We're going to be doing more petitions where we are directly confronting the VA. So I ask you, watch our stories, listen to what the things we're saying, and, just help us be our not our advocate, but just be a supporter. Hashtag support squad. All of you that watch this show, you're our supporters, and we can't do any of this without your help. So I am helping veterans out there. If any veterans have any questions, they can reach out to me. But yeah, we want to definitely be improving things. And there's no agenda here other than our own healthcare. And we're up front. That's what we're doing. So as usual, thank you for being worth serving.